It's time for another at-home maintenance reset. Y'all know I love DIYing my self-care, and now that summer's officially here, we're getting everything together from home while saving so much money in the process. In this video, we're doing some skincare, microneedling, hair care, a DIY sugar wax, a gel X manicure, gel pedicure, and a few other beauty maintenance things that have been long overdue. If you're new here, my name is Amaiya. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. We've got a lot to get through, so let's jump right in. We're gonna go ahead and get started with some skincare. The very first thing I'm gonna be doing is shaving my face with some Good Molecules cold pressed rosehip seed oil. I'm also gonna be microneedling my face today too, but this has to come first. So I'm gonna make sure I'm going extra slow, extra careful with this process, just so I don't unintentionally irritate my skin more than I need to. Normally I don't pair these two things up together. I also don't do this weekly or on a regular schedule. It kind of just worked out where I was able to do both of these at the same time instead of earlier or later, so that's what I did. Whenever I do shave my face, I switch between using this oil and just using my regular face cleanser, and I'll do it with my face lathered. But I've been eyeing the Youth to the People Glow Dream oil. I've seen some people use this for dermaplaning, and I haven't seen a bad review about it. If you've used that, let me know. I'd love to know some of your thoughts about it because I'm thinking about getting that and trying that next time I do this. Altogether though, this whole process is pretty quick. I finish in a few minutes. Once I finish, I went ahead and washed my face. After it's washed, I went ahead and used some hypochlorous acid and I spray it pretty generously all over my skin. This product is supposed to be really good for calming inflammation, soothing redness, and fighting off bacteria. And like I said, we're going to be microneedling right after this, so I'd like my skin to be as clean as I can get it. I waited about 15 to 20 minutes, and now it's time to go ahead and get started with microneedling. This is the current state of my skin texture. I have only done this once before, and it's slowly improving, but I still have a long way to go for clearing my acne scars. Here's a quick list of everything I'm going to be using for this process. Some latex-free gloves, a handful of alcohol prep pads, the Dr. Pin M8S, along with an 18 needle count cartridge, 5% numbing cream, Korean Advanced Serum for slip. Lastly, for some next day aftercare, I'm going to be using this Dr. Althea 345 relief cream. With clean skin and a pair of latex-free gloves, I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this 5% lidocaine to both my face and my neck. I apply this generously all over my skin and I let it sit for about 20 minutes. During this wait time, I will change into a fresh pair of gloves, grab some alcohol wipes, and begin disinfecting every single product I'm going to be using and touching. And I also like to make sure to properly disinfect the needles I'm going to be using. So I will pop open that cartridge and stick it in a little cup of alcohol, and then I'll also give it a good amount of time to air dry properly before going in and using it. After the 20 minutes is up, I will go ahead and use a damp cotton pad and wipe off as much of the excess numbing cream as I can. This part is always a little weird, just like feeling the slight numbness to your face. It doesn't numb you like a crazy amount, but it does feel very weird just touching your skin after that. After double cleansing again, I'm going to be using an alcohol prep pad and wiping that gently all over my face. You really have to make sure your skin is properly cleaned and disinfected before microneedling. And obviously this is at home, this is not in a professional setting, so I don't want to take any risks or be careless with skipping steps. Now with my little syringe, I'm going to go ahead and set aside a good amount of the serum to use for the entire treatment. I'm going to lock in the needle cartridge into the Dr. Pin, and starting with my forehead going down, I'm going to go section by section, applying a little bit of the serum at a time, and then doing 3 passes over that area. When it comes to what depths to use for each area of your face, I follow a guide I found off of TikTok. I found a couple of guides actually. I will include it on the screen if you want to screenshot it. But starting with my forehead, I believe I'm on speed 6 and the depth is 0.75. Moving down to my cheek next, I believe I went up to either 1.5 or 1.75 for the depth, and I'm staying at that 6 speed. I'm going to be continuing with those 3 passes on every section of my face, but when it comes to some of the deeper scars, I'm going to be doing a little tapping motion as a spot treatment to help those areas out a little bit more after those 3 passes. And as you can see on my face, I have a couple of blemishes. One is, post breakout blemish, and another one is a little scratch, but I'm being very careful to avoid those areas because you don't want to go over any open cut or wound with that microneedling pin and risk damaging that skin even more. The upper lip is definitely my least favorite part of this process. I'm pretty much on the lowest depth and I think one of the lower speed settings too. I think besides the upper lip, the forehead is definitely a very, sensitive spot to go over with that microneedling pin. Honestly, none of it feels good at all, especially afterwards, but I knew that going in. It's just one of those things that's important to me to improve my skin texture. So it's worth it to take a little bit of discomfort for maybe like 30 minutes to an hour to have better results, better skin down the line. I'm all done now with my face and my neck, and this is how my skin is looking directly after finishing. To me personally, this is when it feels the most painful, but it only lasts for about 10 to 15 minutes and it quickly fades. I like to take the rest of the serum that I have in the syringe and apply that all over to cool my skin down and kind of bring some hydration back. It feels like a little bit of a throbbing, scratching sensation. That's kind of the best way I would describe the pain. This is when I like to bring out my skincare fan and hold that to my skin. It's a gentle way to cool down my face and kind of ease that burning sensation. And I know I look absolutely crazy. That's kind of the deal. Like, you have to deal with that after doing microneedling. You're gonna look crazy afterwards. But I did this at night. I'm gonna sleep it off. By morning, about 80 to 85% of the redness is already gone. If I really concentrate, I can feel all the individual little needle, like pinpricks. I can feel all of them. I can feel. Okay, I feel a little better now. Let me clean up. I forgot to get a clip of it, but a couple of hours later before going to bed, I'm going to use some of that hypochlorous acid again and spray that all over my face. And I'm also making sure to sleep on freshly cleaned sheets and pillowcases so I don't irritate my skin. Next, we're going to go ahead and wax my underarms. I'm going to be using some talc-free baby powder, a few wooden sticks, cloth epilating strips, hypochlorous acid spray, and cold pressed rosehip seed oil. Everything else will be the ingredients for the actual sugar wax itself, and I'll show that in just a second. But first, let me go ahead and show you the before of what I'm working with and what we'll be waxing off today, which honestly isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and head downstairs and make our sugar wax. To make the sugar wax, you only need lemons, sugar, and water. Today, I'm actually going to be cutting my normal recipe in half so that I have less wasted at the end of it. So I'm going to be using half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of water, and then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and giving it a good mix before putting it on a medium heat. This took about 20 minutes for it to fully cook. This is how it looked after 10 minutes, still pretty clear. And then at exactly 20 minutes, it was turning brown, and I pulled it off the heat and poured it into a glass bowl. Since the recipe was cut in half, it didn't take nearly as long to cool. It was pretty much ready to go in a few minutes. I showered before this so that I'll be working on clean skin. I start with rubbing a little bit of the baby powder under my arm, and I recently realized that my underarm hair grows in multiple directions, so I do multiple pulls in opposite ways. I also experimented a little bit with something new this time. I was curious about doing a pull without using a wax strip, and it actually worked out pretty well. It got a good amount of hair. I do think it was a little bit more painful doing this way, so I'll probably keep using wax strips going forward, but it's nice to know that I have that option. This is the amount of wax I had left over, barely anything. Apparently, it is an option to freeze your excess sugar wax and save it for the next time. I don't really want to deal with that process. I'd rather make it fresh every time, which is why I cut my ingredients in half. But to finish up, I just wiped my underarms with a warm compress. I sprayed a little bit of the hypochlorous acid and let it dry properly. And then the very last thing will be applying a few drops of that cold pressed rosehip seed oil and rubbing it under each arm. Next up, we finally have hair care, and y'all, this is gonna be a journey, so buckle up, okay? We started off pretty good. I went ahead and did a scalp oiling treatment. I really like doing this on my wash days and leaving it in for a few hours before getting in the shower. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this scalp oil, and y'all, this is actually my mom's hair growth oil brand. She's been working on this for a very long time, and she's finally opened up an online shop to sell it. I've gotten a few of the test samples. This is the one I've been using for the past few months. Got all plant-based ingredients, and she puts a lot of time and effort into making all these oils and packaging each bottle on her own. It's pretty much been her dream of having her own hair care products with natural, clean ingredients, and I'm so proud of her for having the first product done and out there to purchase. I'm gonna leave the link to the website in the description. It would mean a lot to me if you guys supported my mom and bought some of her scalp oils. So yeah, she doesn't know I'm doing this, but if y'all buy some and leave a review, let her know that I sent you there. Getting back to our hair care, I went ahead and just went in different sections hands and applied a few drops of the oil in each part before rubbing it in with both my fingers and this little scalp stimulator brush that comes in the pack. Sometimes I leave this in for a few days, but for now I just left it in for a couple of hours before washing my hair because we have to go ahead and blow dry it because we're going to be doing some boho knotless braids, y'all. We're going to attempt to do some boho knotless braids, okay? Keyword here is attempt. Y'all don't be mad at me when you see the results. First, we're going to be applying some blow dry spray from Canva. This is my go-to product before I do any type of blow drying of my hair or diffusing. It speeds up the time for drying and it also is a heat protectant. Once that's in, I brush it through to make sure it's thoroughly applied, and I go ahead and pre-part each section because to dry my hair, I'm going to be using the Rev Air hair dryer. Ever since I got this thing, this is pretty much the only thing I use to dry my hair aside from diffusing if my hair's curly. And yo, honestly, I will probably never go back to a normal hair dryer and brush situation for blow drying my hair. This is just a different level of convenience. Y'all can never make me hate this product. I mean, there's so many uses out of it and I barely scratched the surface, but it just makes it so much easier. Not to glaze, but yo, I love this product. Now, with my hair being pre-parted, I pretty much breezed through this process. I had it on a tension level 6 and the second heat setting, and I held it in each section for about 60 to 70 seconds before pulling it off. This is the first night of many that we're going to be tackling this hair, so I just put it in 2 braids for now, and the next day is when we're going to get started with pre-parting our hair for the braids. Real quick, I'm going to do a beauty supply hair product haul. I've got a few packs of braiding hair, both in the color 4 and the color 30. Shake and Go 18-inch loose deep bulk synthetic bundles in the color 4. And as a backup option, we also have some body wave in 14, 16, and 18-inch, also from Shake and Go. A couple of Shine and Jam gels, a pack of braiding rings for sectioning and parting, long and short hair clips, a dual-sided adjustable bonnet, and then we've got this trifold mirror. And this one I actually ordered from Amazon because y'all, they charge like $50 for these things in store, and that just could not be me paying that price when Amazon got it for literally 20 bucks. The next step is pre-parting my hair. I thought it would save me a lot of stress having all the parting out of the way. I could just take down the braid and move on to the next one instead of stressing over parting in case I couldn't get it right in the moment. I figured it would be less chances of me giving up if I did my parting first.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm excited. I'm so excited, dude. It's giving me energy. I hope I stay excited. I don't get frustrated with this. Please, anything with that.
So I have my little makeshift setup using my chair to hook both the mirror and my nail lamp on, which worked out pretty good for my positioning because I didn't want to stand up.
I can work with that. Look on top. Ooh. Dude. This kind of goes cool. It's kind of cool, bro.
Now let me go ahead and just be honest. It took me 2 days to do the pre-parting. Y'all, I don't know why it took me so long. I was too focused on getting the parting right and I kept redoing rows over and over and over again. So these next few clips you'll kind of see it jumps around a little bit, but I did want to be realistic and show how long this process took. Like I did not breeze through this. This is my first attempt at anything like this, so you know, it's to be expected. It's the next day now. It's 2:38 p.m. I did not finish my parts last night. I didn't even record a lot of it because it was taking me so long, but it's time to get back to it. I think I'm about halfway done. Could be worse, could be better. I was redoing a lot of the parts, a lot of the boxes over and over. When something looked a little bit off, I tried to make it look a little bit better. And I'm pretty sure I have that, whatever that moving scalp thing is, because bro, it's moving, okay? Just know it's moving. I think I knew that beforehand, but it's weird experiencing it and trying to navigate it and like make everything look decent while like, I don't know, trying not to crash out. But yeah, so I think I got about 4 rows done. I'm ready to keep going today. I just made a cup of coffee. It's right here. Got my little pumpkin mug today and I'm ready to keep going. This thing has been really helpful actually. I feel like combs are not my strong point when working from the back, and then I'm still trying to adjust to like looking in the right mirrors or whatever. I'm learning as I go. It's definitely a process. All right, let's get started. I've been watching. These braids look boneless. We're almost done. No, we're like halfway, I think. Oh my goodness. Okay, it is a brand new day now. I'm still in some weird variation of pajamas. The parts are kind of done, I think. I really have a feeling that I'm gonna have to adjust them again as I go. For one, they're not really symmetrical, but that's not my fault. I think there's two different planes of territory on the different sides of my head. Because this side was a breeze actually, and the rows were coming together, and I tried to replicate the same thing, and I had like one extra row over here that I did over here. I had to redo this side like 2 times. I think I finished last night at like 4 or something. It's been a long couple of nights, and we're not even in the thick of it yet. This is just step 1. Yeah, I just feel like the time, I'm a beginner, I'm brand new, first time ever doing this ever, so maybe like that's an excuse, but I feel like for me taking 2 days I'm on my period, bro. That's a valid excuse. If you know, you know. Because normally I don't do anything. I'm actually proud of myself for pushing through it and not quitting. Anyways, I say all that to say it's 6:30. We're on day 3 of this mess. If you're not counting the first night I blow dried my hair. That was pretty late at night when I did that. Every night just keeps getting later and later. Really, it does. I went deep in my closet and found my braiding rack that I ordered. I think I ordered this thing like 4 years ago because I always said I would do this, and I gotta stop saying I'm gonna do things and not doing them. But the point is, it doesn't matter how long I took, I'm following through. Got you there. I ordered this way back before I had 1,000 subs. That's how long back it was. I've got my braiding hair over here. I didn't know if I wanted to go for color 30 or color 4 or do like a blend. I did not go for full human hair because this is my test trial. If I think I can come back and do this another time faster, better, after getting the hang of it, boom, that's when I'll probably order online some human hair. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted more of like a straighter look or a curly look. I know I didn't want too curly, too tight of a curl for the boho, so I've got 2 options here. I've got Loose Deep, the Shake and Go brand, and it's a human hair master mix, but I'm pretty sure it's like less than 5% of human hair. That's what it says in the back. I got 2 packs of this, but then I also found this one, the same brand. This one I just got 1 pack of this. If they had other options for this, because it's 20% more human hair, I think, but it says tangle free. It's like, okay, if I want to go for the more straighter look, I can use this one, but I think I'm gonna attempt to use this one first. This is probably gonna be the longest section of this video because it's a lot of brainstorming in the moment. Normally I like to have this figured out in advance, so I'm not like talking too much and trying to problem solve as I'm recording it. Like I'd rather problem solve beforehand and just get to it once I hit record. But at the very least, if I want more shorter pieces, I can just straighten all the pieces. I'm a little worried, bro. I'm so worried that I'm not gonna be able to braid this right. But don't be worried. I think I'm gonna just test the waters tonight, see how this first row goes, and actually I want to count how many braids I have so I know exactly how much I'm getting through. So there's exactly 80 braids, and I think there's more on this side. I think there's more on this side. I don't know what happened, dude. I think I'm overthinking it. I think the parts won't even be that visible if I do the curly pieces right. So only thing I gotta do is just get the braiding technique down, get the feed-in technique down. And I'm actually about to re-pull up a tutorial because it doesn't matter if I watched it before, I need to watch it again. All right, I'm gonna watch this video by Indie Bendy. I've been watching a couple of her videos. I think I watched hers for the parting. I watched a parting tutorial. Next time, note to self, watch the whole video before you follow along with it because I don't know. I should have did that. I think there's a little issue going around in this area, but I can't see it, so it's not my problem. So from here, I started out with an attempt on the first braid using braiding hair and the boho pieces. It took me a very long time to get this first braid in. I could not figure out the feed-in technique so close to my scalp. I did successfully complete 1 braid with both of those pieces in, but I did a little test with just my natural hair and the boho pieces added to that, and I did like that a little bit better. It just felt less heavier on my head, and to be honest, I knew it would speed up the process not having to worry about trying to get that technique down of adding the braiding hair in. I honestly might still be doing the braids to this day if I was using that braiding hair, so I'm glad I went with that option.
Okay, I'm contemplating. Okay, before I go any further, I'm thinking about trying adding the curly pieces to my hair, no braiding hair. What do we think about that? I think that would save me a lot of stress, I think. I'm kind of just proud of this one right here. I think we can just call it a success and just shift to a different, technique. I'm gonna try that. Let me see how she does it. I'm switching tutorials. This is Elsa Desiree, I believe. She's doing the no hair added, no braiding hair added. I think I might just do that.
From here is when it gets a little rocky. There's a lot of big time skips that's about to come up. I kind of explained some of the setbacks that I face. I unfortunately didn't record a lot of it because I genuinely believe that I was not gonna see this through, as bad as that sounds, but here's the clips. All right, we're back. Okay, it's been quite a bit of time since the last clip, but I'm here to give an update on my hair situation. Yeah, I've got 2 rows left right here. Here's the thing. My technique is no technique. I'm literally going off of vibes, and that's a problem because I'm losing pieces of hair consistently. Every time I tie it in a bun and I try to take it out like soft and gently, it don't matter. Some hair comes out every 2 seconds. I think I went like this a couple seconds ago and pulled out, where is it? I pulled out this piece right here. So like, that's another problem. I'm not sure how long this is gonna last, but I'm seeing this through for the video, okay? Seeing it through for a couple of pics maybe, and then, you know, we move on. I'm gonna pull off this headband and show you where I'm at. If you look close, you can see where like the loop is. Those are coming loose for the pieces, so just don't look too hard. But like, we're almost there. So yeah, these 2 rows, that's all that's left. I'm gonna finish this tonight. I can't spend another day on this. I've been losing sleep over this. It's been plaguing my dreams, bro. Like, bro, I'm sick of it. A little bit. I'm sick of it a little bit, dude. I'm trying not to use this like too much Shine and Jam too, like going forward. Like, I have to use it to like really get it slicked down, but I used a little bit of it. I probably shouldn't have done that. I used it for when I parted my hair, and I think like the buildup is starting to get to me a little bit. So anyways, that's the update. I switched from the floor. I was doing them on the floor for a while. Torture. I think after day 3 or 4, I was going like to sit back on the floor to like make some progress, and then I would just sit there and not do anything because I hated being on the floor, bro. So we just slid things over, and I'm using the chair on my bed. That's how we had to do it. Okay, so I got my hair right here. I'm gonna work through these rows and knock this out tonight. Tonight's the last night I'll be doing my hair. Feels so good to say that. I watched so many new series too, like just in my procrastination journey. I don't even watch TV like that. Like, that's how you know it was bad. Let's not even talk about that. Let's just get it done. Okay, don't hate me, y'all, but I do not have any like official clips of the hair at its freshest potential, fullest potential. You will kind of see me wearing it, you know, styled back for the remainder of the video, but I do apologize for not having those clips, y'all. It was a weird few weeks. I'm honestly just glad to be past that point. But yeah, moving on now to the next section, and that's gonna be our nail care. This is the set I did for one of my recent videos, and I took it off before I even did my hair, but I still recorded that process. I used the Jello peel off base coat for the first time a couple weeks ago, and so this will be my first time using their 1 kill remover. The process is pretty easy. The pack comes with a bunch of wooden cuticle pushers, and you use that to lift up the nail gently, and then you apply a little bit of the 1 kill solution to each nail and let it sit for a good few minutes. And it's a back and forth process. You kind of test it to see if it lifts. If you need more, add some more, wait a little bit longer, and then try to pry it off. It does save you a lot of time, especially if you like to do your removal and fresh nail set at the same day. Now, what I've noticed for the downside downside is that they don't last nearly as long as if you were going to use a regular Gel X nail tip glue. Normally my sets last me up to 3 to 4 weeks with no lifting. With the peel off base coat, I think they lasted me about 2 weeks before I started seeing lifting. I did have one nail fall off fully. Keep that in mind if you go for this product. A few of you have asked for my opinion on it, and that's kind of where I'm at on it. I think I'll definitely use it in the future, and when I want a more long-term option, I just will avoid it. Fast forward a few weeks later, it's time to go ahead and do our fresh Gel X set. Y'all know I wouldn't be me if I wasn't doing my nails late as hell at night, so I did go ahead and have half of a Bloom energy drink just to keep me awake, keep me focused. Normally I'm an almond girly through and through for my nail shape, but this time around I'm going to be trying out some square nail tips. I got the Apres natural square tips in the size medium, and I ordered these off of Amazon. I'm going to go ahead and set up all of my supplies and we can go ahead and get started. I did do my cuticle care off camera, but this is the before and this is the after. We're gonna go ahead and pick out the sizes for our nail tip, making sure it fits sidewall to sidewall for each finger. I think one of the reasons I'll always keep using Apres is because of their sizing. They just work really well with my fingers, and I rarely have to do any shaping or resizing to the nail tips, and I love that. It makes it so much faster. And because we're trying out a new shape today, I am gonna go ahead and use some Jello peel off base coat. I'm okay with them not lasting as long, since at this point in time I was a little up in the air about whether I would like the shape. Working one full hand at a time, I did a thin layer of that, cleaning up any of the sides or excess spilling with some acetone and a brush, and I cured that for 60 to 90 seconds. Next up, I'm applying my nail tips with some Model 1's nail glue. I brushed a thin layer of it onto the nail tip and then added a little glob at the base, and I used my flash cure lamp to make it easier to apply it. This is one of those things that you just have to keep doing it to get the hang of it. I'm still improving as I go too. I definitely have times where they're applied more crooked than not, but it gets the job done. After flash curing, you have to fully cure your hand, so I did that for 60 to 90 seconds. The rest of the prep for my nail tips is sealing the cuticle with a fine drill bit. I'm also going to be sanding down that shiny layer of the nail, and then lastly I'm going to be using some acetone and a brush to blend in that base of the nail and make it look a little more seamless to my natural nail. Before using any gel paint, I'm going to go ahead and do one layer of the nail tip glue to each nail and cure that for 90 seconds. Now for our base color, I'm going to be using this jelly pink, and we're going to be doing 3 layers of this. I don't think I showed a inspo pic, but this is the inspo I'm going for this set. I'm going to just try to replicate it as best as I can. It's a French tip with a couple of blooming flowers and a little bit of gold charms in there. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild for nail art, so I kept it pretty simple this time around. I did find it a little bit difficult to do French tips on this shape for some reason. I think I'm just so used to working on almond nails that it was a little bit difficult adjusting, but I did do 2 layers of the white French tip. It's not my best French tip, but it's passable. I'm still happy with how it turned out. Once the French tips were done, I added a little bit of blooming gel to one finger at a time, and I did my little pink flowers. I did 1 full flower on the middle finger and then 2 half flowers on my pointer and ring finger, and to get that light pink color I mixed together a pink that I had with some of the white. For the last step of the design, we're adding these little gold balls to the center of each flower. I'm going to apply that with some 5D candy gel, and then I'm going to seal it on top with some of the nail glue. And after making sure that's fully cured, in between adding each product, I'm going to go ahead and do some top coat. And lastly, I'm going to use a file to re-sharpen the shape a little bit. Once we're all finished with the nails, our last step is adding back some moisturization and hydration to our nails and our skin. So we're going to use some Cuccio cuticle oil and rub that in really good. And then we're going to use some of the L'Occitane hand cream just as a final step. We are almost down to the final stretch of my at-home maintenance routine. The last few things we have to do is my toes and then lashes and brows. I gotta group those two together. We're gonna go ahead and do our toes right now. I am on a little bit of a time crunch. It's 5:23, but I have somewhere to be in 90. Ooh, is that really that soon? Yeah, I have somewhere to be in 90 minutes and I have to leave the house in about 70. Let me explain my pedicure inspo. I was thinking, what if I match them to this and do a little blooming flower on the big toe? I've never done a design on my toes before. I found a couple of inspo pics of what I want to do. Here's the inspo pic of the toes that I found. I'm not sure if I'll do 5 petals or 4 petals like my fingers, but it'll be just like this, except I'm gonna match the color to my fingers. I already did all my prep off of camera. I trimmed the length, pushed my cuticles back, I shaped them up a little bit and buffed the surface. And then I also did like a little cuticle drill bit around the edges. I have shown this process in previous videos. So if you want to see my cuticle care prep routine before a gel pedicure, go check out that video. I'll send it across the screen actually. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The good thing about toes is, you know the drill, I can work on one while one side is curing. So let's hope that works in my favor today. Okay, I'm cutting it super close here. The lamp just turned off finishing my top coat. I freaking love them. I'm so late though. So I will be back to finish the rest of my pedicure, do my little foot mask, do some cuticle oil and some lotion. So I will be back. I'll see you guys in literally a second for y'all, but I gotta go. So I'm finally back home now and I'm ready to go ahead and do my foot mask. Here is what I'm gonna be using. It's the Skin 2.0 Shea Butter and Coconut Foot Mask. I'm familiar with this specific one, and although I don't use them weekly or monthly, I probably should start doing that. Probably great, especially for summertime. I do use them pretty much seasonally every time I do a pedicure. Pedicures last really long if you do gel, especially when you do like these jelly pink colors, like these jelly nudes. It almost kind of blends in with my toe color, my natural toe color, and they last, you know, a good amount of time. I want to say pedicures for me last at least a month, 6 weeks, 2 months. Like, I need to look good from a distance. It don't gotta look good up close. I just don't want to look like, you know, crusty long feet, long toes, just looking crazy. But yeah, if you don't do gel pedicures, you should start doing it. Very easy to do on your own, way easier than your hands. So anyways, let me go ahead and put this on. So I really like these little foot masks because you can just pop them on, pop some socks on top, and leave them on however long you want. How do you open this thing? I think I just opened this way wrong. They changed it. You used to just be able to rip them in half and then you're good. I'm getting in there though. Oh yeah, that's the one, okay. That was really weird. I didn't like that. They must have changed their packaging. Whew, it's kind of cold. Once I put it on, I kind of just take a couple seconds, massage my foot and massage the product in. My feet and my skin is so soft afterwards. That's why I just got the same one. Shea butter and coconut, like you can't go wrong with that. I do have a couple of what are those foot peels. They're like the same thing, but there's like a peel mask. So once you leave it on, you let it sit for like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or whatever. I haven't used one in years, but I still have leftover packs. I think it's like within a week, your dead skin on your feet will begin to peel. I keep saying I'm gonna do one of those, but I don't want to deal with my feet shedding literally for however long. Like, and I'm the type of person where like if I see something peeling, I'm gonna peel it off with my fingers, and I'll probably try to rush the process. So like I just know better. I just know better not to put one of those on my feet right now. I need to do that in the winter. I don't know why they changed the packaging. It was way better, way more easier before, but it's cool. Rub it in. Okay, so the instructions say to leave it on for 20 to 30 minutes. I just massaged it in for a few minutes and I'm gonna let it sit now. To be honest, I got a little snack right here. I'm about to eat it. I got some yogurt and mini chocolate chips, one of my favorite little snacks. Maybe I'll clean up my little nail corner, get that out of the way. I honestly cannot wait to be done with this process. I feel like my room's been in a whole upside down mess, but it's well worth it. It's always worth it every time I go through this process. And we're almost done. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I just need to do some lashes and my brows and that's it. That's so easy. That's like 5-10 minutes tops each. Listen, if y'all do your nails at home regularly, I wouldn't say this is necessary if you only have like a few nail supplies, but if you've got like cure lamps, a bunch of polishes, lotions and whatnot, and gems and whatever, you have to get a nail bag. This makes things so much freaking easier. They sell them all over Amazon. You can get like little ones, big ones, or whatever. I personally chose this one just because, probably for a stupid reason, but it didn't have a logo on the front and I just wanted it to be plain black. But yeah, the dream or the goal is to have, when I have my own official space, like my own house or whatever, I'll have a nail room, like a beauty room and a nail desk, and I'll have everything in the desk with drawers and everything. But in the meantime, to pack everything up in here successfully, if I buy, eventually I'm gonna run out of space and I'll probably have to, I don't know, start storing some more stuff. But for the amount of stuff I have, this thing is freaking heavy too. How much is that? I don't even know how heavy that is. It's gotta be like maybe 30, 35 pounds. Okay, it's been a good 45, maybe 50 minutes since I put on my foot mask. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off now. I am gonna put on some cuticle oil, the Cuccio Cuticle Revitalizing Oil in the scent Milk and Honey. Dude, this thing, I've had this thing for maybe a year now. Look how much I've used. It goes a long freaking way, dude. Let's go ahead and do that. We can see the final reveal of my toes. I hope you guys like them. I really like them. They match my fingers. Like, it has the same little cute flowers, the same gold charm on it. I've never had charms on my toes before, so I don't know how they're gonna hold up, but I hope I secured it and like used enough glue, nail glue, to fasten it in place, to keep it in place. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and pull this off though. It is time now to go ahead and do my brows and my lashes, the final two things of this beauty maintenance routine. I'm gonna go ahead and start with my brows first. Just for Men Beard Dye, this is what I use to dye my brows. I don't do this too often because this isn't something that usually lasts too long for me. I've been using this, I've been doing this. I don't know who came up with this technique, but I saw someone do this years and years ago and I kind of just kept doing it. There's probably so many official brow dyes out there right now. Like laminates and like tinting. I gotta dive into that. I gotta look into it, do some research. But like my default, like my brain goes to here first. It's what, $10 at the store. I buy one of these maybe a year. They last so long. So I don't know. But let's go ahead and use a little bit of developer. Ignore how dirty this thing looks. It's just the tint of the dye. But yeah, one little dot of that. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So you want it to be the same amount. What I use for this process, besides whatever comes in the beard dye, is an old brow pomade brush. It's really old, it's really crusty, but I'm pretty sure it's like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one from way back in the day. I use this to apply the beard dye because you don't want to be going in with this big old chunky thing that comes in the box. That's not gonna cut it. It's gonna be a mess. I also keep a stack of Q-tips on the side to mix up the beard dye, but also clean up anything before it starts to dry and develop. And then a stack of little cotton pads. I will use this with some water to take it all off. We've got our little mixture here. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up. We've got it mixed up. That's what it looks like. I also use a little compact mirror to see what I'm doing up close. I probably could use a little bit of a tweezing situation, but I'm not gonna bother with it right now. Let's just go ahead and get this on. It may seem a little tricky to like hold all this at once, but I keep the compact mirror in my hand, in my grip, and then I'll like hold on to both at the same time because it can get a little confusing if you gotta reach your hand down to the floor or wherever you set this down and, you know, try to dip it and come back. You could go slow, that's also an option, but you know, do whatever works best. Okay, I'm just gonna tap it in here. And I don't have a technique. I just apply it normally to the ends first, and then I'll come back and fill in the front. That's one side down. You can already kind of see it starting to get a little darker. While I'm waiting for it to fully develop and get dark, I'm keeping an eye on it the whole time, keeping my Q-tips on standby because you kind of have to wait to see it get darker first to know if you've hit a little area you don't want it to tint or dye. I'm gonna go ahead and continue with my left side and get it over here, and we'll do some cleaning up before letting it officially sit for a good amount of time. This is how it's looking right now. I probably should have did a proper before and after. I can already see this one is, or no, this one is looking a little more in, but that one's developed already, so we gotta give it time to catch up. So I'm gonna let this sit for a good, they say 5 minutes on the box. When I see other people use this stuff, they're like, don't leave it on too long. I can't even lie, y'all. I'll be leaving it on for mad long. I leave it on for so long because it's gonna fade. So I might leave it on for like a good 5-10 minutes and see where it gets us. Not too bad right now though. All right, my brows and my lashes are officially done. They do look a little dark, but that's to be expected off day one of using brow dye or beard dye, I guess. But that officially wraps up the last task for this at-home beauty maintenance. There's so many updates and like things I could fill you in on. As you can see, my hair has been in a bun, and this low bun, I think it has been for the last few clips. I consider, you know, the hair segment of this a really big setback, if I'm being honest. I contemplated so many times cutting that whole portion out. I did kind of trim down a lot of that footage. I think in real time I was like talking through it, and that was making the clips so long because I was just like expressing my process, my frustrations, or whatever. But I had to like look back on the clips. It's not as bad as I was thinking it was, because I was gonna like classify this as a fail. For my first time, it actually wasn't too bad. You know, it could have been a little bit fuller. I probably could have looked up, you know, way more videos. I feel like I watched so many, but maybe I wasn't paying attention to the proper technique of things, and just, I don't know. I'm not gonna take it out of this bun now because it looks crazy at this point. It's been almost 2 weeks now since I finished the braid, like the last row of braids, that last clip. I should have got clips back then of how it looked. I did end up trimming it to make it a little bit more even, and it was pretty cute for the first few days, but it became more of like a problem. It was causing me more issues than it was helping me have a quick, easy style to throw together for the day, pull the bonnet off and be good to go. Like, it wasn't that case after a few days. So yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks since I finished the braids, but it's been a month coming up since I, you know, blow dried and did my parts initially. I don't want to like drag this out too long, but after I finished the braids, I think like 3 days after is when I caved and washed and washed my hair. The buildup from the gel was really getting to me, and I think the fact, I know this is where I messed up, but I did not wash the add-in pieces. I will be doing that next time. I took the lazy route. I was gonna wash the braiding hair if I was gonna use the braiding hair, but I didn't end up using braiding hair, and I'm glad I didn't, because that probably would have taken me even longer, and I think it would have been like uncomfortable on my skin, because I did just that one braid, and like the frayed pieces was just like, ugh, I couldn't do it. So just like quick mentions of things to look out on next time: washing the hair using a higher quality human hair, and that's for boho pieces, and if I add in the hair to the actual braid. Yeah, and then lastly, not dragging my feet. I went back and forth so many times, and I kind of just like stood still for such a long period of time. I could have had this done, but I was just so confused and concerned on whether or not it would come together. I wanted to finish out this video and properly close it out before taking this hair out, but y'all, this hair is coming out tonight. After I hit stop on this recording, it's coming out. It's coming out. I gotta put me first. It was fun though. I'm glad I saw it through. So much hair has come out since I put it in that it just looks very sparse. It looks very like straggly. So I'm not doing any more ponytails. I have so many like open-ended braids where I added to the end of my own hair, and my own hair is just like sticking out. So it's gotta go. So yeah, this hair will be coming out tonight. I'll probably post a little TikTok and like time how long it takes me to take it out. All together, I tried something new. I'm glad I did it. I can't be mad at it. I can't be mad for giving it an attempt. And it may not have been what I envisioned, but I'm not gonna cut it out of the video. I'm just gonna leave it in. And then the next time I do this, whether I show it or not, like, we'll see the progress, we'll see the improvement. But yeah, besides that, we also tried something new with our nails. I am normally an almond nail girly. Y'all know that. I don't think I like them more than my almond shape. I do think it's cute, but I think if I'm gonna go for this length, which is the same length, this is still medium, if I'm gonna go for this length, I can't do French tip. I think it's gotta be like a full solid color and some more design, some more 3D art. So I might experiment with this nail shape and length again, but either trim down if I do a French tip on this, or just do a completely different style. I do want to mention a minor setback I noticed with my nails. I think I did my nails a week ago today, and that jello peel off base, man, I gotta figure out how to use that properly, because these things been popping off like I don't know what. Luckily I have like a whole press-on setup on the side, so I've been able to use some brush glue. This is what I use to apply my press-ons. This stuff is pretty good. I love the option of using the peel off base coat and having the 1 kill remover to pop these off and not have to soak them off. but man, it does not last long. I think I've lost 5 nails, 3 on this side. 3 literally popped off today and 2 on this side. But you know, it's okay because I don't know how long I would have wanted to keep these on anyways. So yeah, just like for future me, for the future nail set, I'll take the bad with the good because I would really like to easily take these off the next time I do my nails and not have to sit through a soaking process. So, you know, I can't complain too much. I'm not too mad at it. Altogether, I'm glad I saw all of these things through. I'm glad I finished and didn't give up on anything because it wasn't looking too hot for a second, okay? But yeah, all those little updates aside, some setbacks, not too big of a deal. I don't want to stress them too much. It's behind us now, okay? We don't have to dwell on it. I'm glad I tried a bunch of new things for this at-home maintenance routine video. Even with my toes, I tried something new. I did the flowers. I included the microneedling. That's been going pretty good. I can't wait to do it again. It's about time to do another treatment. And I do still have, you know, scarring or whatever, but I'm noticing it improving slightly, and that counts, okay? Because as long as it's improving a little bit at a time, I'll take that over 0 improvement. Now, all those updates aside, I think we're gonna go ahead and officially close off this video right here. Although this one wasn't as put together as some of my previous at-home maintenance routines, I do still hope you guys enjoyed watching the video and coming along with me this last month to do all of this, really. If you did enjoy watching, make sure to leave this video a like, and if you made it all the way to the end, because I'm sure this is a long one, go ahead and leave this emoji down in the comments just to let me know you stuck all the way to the end with me. If you're interested in any of the products I used in this video, those links will always be in the description. I usually categorize them so it's easy to scroll through and find whatever you're looking for. If I forget something, let me know in the comments and I'll add it and update it. But as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you very soon with a new video.